We start our countdown of the best James Bond pre-title sequences with the most recent. At number 24, it's No Time to Die. Yes, it's the longest. I want to say ambitious because it does try and do a heck of a lot in one fell swoop, but I always think it's not really a pre-title sequence other than it's telling the story of what's happened between No Time to Die and Spectre, isn't it, really? It's what's happened in the 5 years to get us to this point. You could argue a bit like The World Is Not Enough. It's actually like 3 or 4 scenes in one, isn't it? I'd probably say the most controversial pre-title sequence.
Yeah, definitely. It's not in keeping with traditional Bond starts, but neither is the Man with the Golden Gun. Neither is Live and Let Die. And actually, if the pre-title sequence was just this, I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty decent actually. I won't say it's amazing. I don't like the idea that it's a Madeline backstory. I don't want a backstory to Madeline. I don't want that. But I think the concept of breaking new ground in terms of it introduces the villain straight away, using the pre-title sequence to bring a bit of character development to the main villain and show what his motivation is. I'm not saying it does it well, but I can understand the reasoning for it. It's a new setting. We've not had Norway before. So I think, yeah, fair play. It's very eerie, incredibly eerie, and it's effective at what it does. And I think the images of a 12-year-old girl shooting, well, it's visceral. It's quite graphic, and it sticks with you. I like the 90s references of Wallace and Gromit and Tamagotchis. I do like that. I think that's
Yeah.
It does build tension. I think the score does this. I think the score it's the right beats. There's a nice few little jump scares with Safin coming out. So I think all that is effective.
Maman.
Good filmmaking is reasonably different ground to what we've had before, and I'm all right with the minute that Safin pulls Madeline out of the water and it goes to Leia Sadu, it falls off a cliff completely for me.
Would it have made more sense had the motives of Safin been made more clear to the audience? Because it's all right setting him up and this backstory.
Yeah.
And he's hardly in it. And just at the end, oh, it was all about you, Madeline. Oh, it was all about your daughter. Oh, actually, I'll hand her back. Oh, actually, I can't be bothered with.
I like that they're trying to make a memorable villain. I think it is quite scary. I think it's tense. I think it's well shot. Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in knowing about a flashback of Madeline. Safin, yeah, a flashback, but it doesn't particularly show him being very effective.
Yeah,
he kills a sleeping woman and then fails to kill a young girl, fairly young girl.
Saves her.
And then when I don't understand. I don't understand the motivation.
He shoots.
He's shooting down, and then he's shooting into the ice. Is that to release the ice?
The ice, yeah.
Yeah, but it's quite risky to shoot.
Yeah, and he's very close to it. It shows that it's very hard to understand that bit.
And then a lot of, Tom, as you say, a lot of the failings are that relationship between Safin and Madeline is not particularly explored. And do they have some codependency or something? It's not very well explored.
I'm being honest, I don't know if it's just personal taste, but if it was just this by itself, I don't think it's anywhere near good enough as a Bond pre-title sequence. The mask, it's a bit silly, really, and he's not that effective. He looks, he's on his last legs. He's poorly, really, isn't he? He's not strong.
It has that Halloween,
of course,
sort of trope of he's shot and killed, but then he's suddenly not there, or he's still alive.
No, he is. He's dragged out. She dragged him out.
Sorry. I mean, he's still alive, is what I meant.
Yes, yeah.
I seem to remember the audience were quite, captivated and jumped at the relevant bits.
Oh,
so it is effective.
They're trying to sell you that this is Bond's big love.
Yeah.
And because it failed poorly in Spectre, they spend so much of this film retconning things, adding new elements, to try and get you to like Madeline Swan.
And yet Vesper still, she's in the pre-title. Oh right, I remember her. I remember that.
Yeah.
She was more
Yeah.
Bond's woman, wasn't she?
I miss you.
Yeah.
So it's a massive risk, and it doesn't pay off for me, that you start the film about a character who I have no interest in anyway. The next 3 minutes of film are the most offensive things in any James Bond film by some distance, and I mean that.
And this is obviously the use of the lines as well as the music.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the most offensive thing that's ever happened in a James Bond film, and it's horrendous.
How's the view?
It's growing on me. Can you go faster?
We don't need to go faster. We have all the time in the world.
Sorry.
What it looks like as well, the cinematography of them when
Yeah.
they're all, I was going to say when they're all grown up, but you know, when they're in the present day. It's a beautiful place, it's tropical. It does resemble the end of the film though. It looks quite CGI sunset.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's supposed
we
to
go
be a
back
bit
to
of a
the
bookend.
Yeah.
They don't really know each other, do they?
That's the other thing that shines through. They don't know each other. In this scene, they're still learning massive. They think they're learning massive things about each other.
Yeah.
Does she say later on in bed, like, will you tell me about Vesper or some?
Yeah, there's some exchanging of secrets and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the script it's so on the nose, but I think the actors just about get away with it. There's some bits in this where Craig is truly awful, but there's some bits where him and Madeline are quite good. I think the acting is quite good. And
Yeah,
you did buy, when they're walking up Matera,
Yes.
these sort of silly, obvious lines, aren't they? Like, I wasn't looking over my shoulder. Are we going to have a row about this? Like, it's pretty.
You can't help looking over your shoulder.
What?
No one's coming.
I wasn't looking over my shoulder.
Yes, you were.
No. Are we going to have a row about this?
You can picture it a Fast Show sketch, can't you?
Yeah, it's some like audience
But
laughter.
it's pretty cute and cozy and beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that works quite well.
Matera, really good setting.
Yeah.
Really good idea. You know, that's what we
Yeah.
want to see, stuff that we've not really seen before. He's going there to visit Vesper's grave.
Does he know that when they're driving, or does she only reveal that when they're at the hotel? I don't know. Yeah,
He mentions it, but he's aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would a grave in Matera?
Yeah, I know. I was going to say she was a British Treasury agent, and her grave is in Matera. It also happens to be a festival where you give up your secrets.
Yeah.
What are they burning?
Secrets, wishes, letting go of the past, getting rid of all things inconvenient.
So iconic.
But it's not
Well,
a secret.
it has-
What is it a secret? What does he write? I'm sorry, or
Forgive me.
forgive me.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't say sorry in this, as far as I'm.
No.
Terrible.
No. But what? Forgive me? Is it? Who's
That's
he
his
asking?
secret.
Oh,
His secret is forgive me.
She wants him to forgive Vesper. I mean, even though she's dead. But when he goes to her grave, he doesn't say I forgive you. He says I miss you.
Yeah, he says I miss you. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. That's quite.
It is.
telling.
It is.
My interpretation of that is that it's trying to pull them all together. When Mathis gets killed, forgive Vesper. You know,
Yeah.
he's trying to just pull them all together and say
Loose ends.
Bond to have this happy ever after life with the new love of his life. He's got to let go of the past demons.
Yeah.
And that to me is what they're trying to get at. But I could have written that better on the back of a stamp than the way that they did it, to be quite honest.
I think it was a big moment in the cinema when there was the explosion. I think that did get a big reaction,
Right.
and jump scare. Spectre had planted a bomb there, or they've been tracking him.
For what they're trying to go for, that you can see why Bond would be angry at her, because of course you'd think she's the one who suggested coming here. She says go to that grave now. This is
Yeah, and there's a
I
phone
wouldn't
call
do any of
later.
it, but the logic works as a casual viewer.
Mm.
That's why he would think she's still involved, and because her dad was involved with all this.
His heart doesn't wrestle with it. He goes straight to absolutely, blaming her, being furious at her, grabbing her.
Yeah.
There's the only emotion is anger. It's not as in this is the love of my life and I'm confused. It's straight to rage and abuse, kind of.
You're right. Letting go is hard.
James, what happened? What happened?
How did they know I was here?
What are you talking
Madeline,
about?
how did they know I was here?
I have no idea what you're...
Spectre, how did they know?
What are you talking about?
How did they
People
know
love it. This is what
I
people
was
love. This is
here?
one of the best things in the film. So there must be something here that I'm not seeing.
I think the stunt work,
Yeah.
shots of it, are impressive. Not amazing. They're not they're not new stuff, but they're done in a well shot way. It's some lovely shots of the car, and there's some good stuff. So I'll give that. I'm not bored by that. I think it's really well shot. You're focusing on James Bond psychologically torturing a woman.
James! James! Do something! James! Say something, James!
Okay.
Him 1 minute saying to someone that they have all the time in the world,
Yeah, this is it.
and it's just
He's not under control at all. He's absolutely unhinged.
It's all over.
it's all over. You've got Spectre like framing this woman who is completely innocent, and all you ever getting told is, "Oh, wait till you find out the secret."
James, why? Why would I betray you?
We all have our secrets. We just didn't get to yours yet.
What? Like,
Yeah.
what was the secret? So we come to believe the secret was that she was pregnant. Do you really think James Bond would be that heartbroken that is the secret that's going to destroy him, that she was pregnant?
That's why what sends him into a rage, definitely, because when he fights Primo says she's the daughter of Spectre.
You know, Madeleine, she's a daughter of Spectre. She's a daughter of Spectre.
There's this phone call that comes later when they're in the car that Bond makes sure she answers. When she gets a phone out of her purse, it like glitches and shows the Spectre logo.
It's Blofeld, my love. Your father would be so proud of you. Your sacrifice will be our glory.
Don't understand.
Blofeld mob, or
Yeah. But you'd think Bond would at least consider she's being framed here. Do you know, it's not even crossed his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. He's fallen for it so easily. In some ways, she does come out of it well, because I feel so sorry for her. 1 minute Bond's telling her, yeah, they've got all the time in the world. Then the next minute, he's absolutely losing it with her. And she's like tearful. And obviously we find out she's pregnant and all that. Like, it's
Gaslighting.
I feel really, really sorry for her by the end. And that's at the hands of Bond more than anyone else.
even in the action of this, we're not really like, yes, Bond's our man or whatever. It's like, what's going on here?
It's quite a good how he crouches down and the car goes over that little bump.
I know. But what I mean is the ongoing motivations and everything.
Is it the only pre-title sequence where he's not actually working for MI6, though, is he?
Oh, he's not. You're right. Yeah.
He's not saving the world.
No.
So he is. He has no motivation. That's the thing. It's meant to come across as personal motivation.
What do you think about the stunts over the bridge?
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's good. It has a practical reason. You know, it's not a stunt for a stunt's sake. It's an escape route, and it's a bit of quick thinking from him. The way he lands and how it comes to an end makes it seem logistically real, if you know what I mean. I think that's good. That was like one of their big show-stopping stunts for the thing, wasn't it? Because it featured in pretty much all the trailers. You knew it was coming, but it's still decent. There are some really good shots of, the Aston Martin going through Matera. It looks beautiful, and the camera work is really, really good. It does look great.
We do get a henchman, and I didn't go into this knowing that we had a henchman, so I was pretty pleased to see him. Yeah. He's quite startling looking. I know people have complained that they always have to be othered, you know, with a freak sort of element. I think it's quite a good introduction to him, the clothes, the look. But again, Bond has 2 fights with them, both are identical, both end up with strangling him, both end up with the eye coming out. It's a wasted character, really.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything particularly of note to Bond.
No.
Does he? In the film. I do like his image. Yeah. I think he's fairly up to date in his image, apart from having to have a artificial eye. Like, you know, he's a modern thug, which I think is a good look. And I think even his costume's pretty good in this. But you are supposed to take a little bit of notice when his eye falls out, and Bond gives it a nice little humorous look, which is good.
Yeah.
But because the eyeball kind of rolls away, and then Bond kind of stares at it and kind of represents the audience like, what on earth?
Yeah.
Which is good. And then he glances to his bike, doesn't he, and nabs it.
The ending of this pre-title sequence, so she's shoved on a train, we don't know where she's going. It's almost she's like accepting that this is going to happen, as if this was always going to happen, and there will be no talk about it. There'll be no comeback. You'll never see me again.
Yeah, it's like she's known it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a pre-arrangement. We knew this would happen. Yeah. It's happening now, kind of. Right, yeah, okay. We're going to go our separate ways.
So, this is it.
This is it.
How will I know that you're okay?
You won't. You'll never see me again.
I do feel sorry for that. When she puts a hand on her tummy, he does notice or acknowledge that, but then I'm sure there's like a facial expression he pulls away, doesn't quite understand, doesn't know how to work it out. I do think that's nicely shot with the carriages going by and how they see each other, and she's trying to run to keep up with him, and how that goes into the titles. I think that's really nice, and then the comes in. I think really brilliant.